If you have the desire to be liked by everyone, that probably means you're a little bit jealous of that person who gets a lot of attention. And fair enough. Now, it won't surprise you, the way to get there is through communication. You're probably thinking, communication? I'm pretty good at that. Wrong. You're probably not. If you're not liked by everyone, you're not good at communication. That is the secret. Be good at communication. That's what I'm going to explain. I have 4 options. When you communicate with someone, which one do you go for? Do you try to impress them? Do you try to tell them stories about things that are crazy and that involve you? Do you try to add on to them? They tell a crazy story. What do? You tell them something even better. Number 3, ask questions. Do you just ask them a bunch of questions like an interview, like a job interview? Do you just keep going and going until the point where they're thinking, we might as well have on a suit and tie? Or, final option, are you curious? Do you ask them questions, but show genuine curiosity to their life? Now, given the way I just described that, it's probably obvious which one I'm going to nag on about. And it's this one. Be curious. These top 3 are the reason why you're not liked by everyone. Everyone thinks the person who tells the coolest story is going to be liked by everyone. Wrong. All you're doing when you're doing that is making other people jealous and resentful. You can tell cool stories, but don't keep going on about it to the point where they think they haven't even asked about how my day was. Not a good idea. Then number 2, add on to them. This is similar to the first one. What you don't want to do is they tell a story about themselves, and then your immediate thought is to think, oh my goodness, I've gone snowboarding in New Zealand too. Let's tell them about the craziest story about my snowboarding adventure. No, just no. The issue with that is they're telling you about themselves. They've opened up to you. They've given you a door into their life. What do? You go like this. You go, whoosh. You slam that door shut, and then you open your door and say, come into my life. That's nice and everything. But the problem with that is they've given you an opportunity for you to show them that you like them, but instead you're trying to get them to think about you. Does that sound like such a good idea? Probably not. Number 3, I don't mind this one, ask questions, but it's the way you do it. If you just keep asking questions, it's like a job interview. It's not really that good. They tell you about their day and you say, what did you have for breakfast? And then you say, what's your favorite hobby? It becomes a sort of thing that teenagers do where you just keep pummeling out questions that have real no meaning to them. Be curious, the part you've been waiting for. What on earth does that really mean? I sort of described it in the beginning, but now I'm going to describe it a lot more. So, being curious means that you care about the other person enough to be intrigued about their behavior. You find out something to do with them that you're genuinely curious about, so you don't have to fake it. So, you meet a marine biologist. You find out that through a friend of a friend, and then you go up to this person. You have to realize that if you ask them about things that you don't care about, they will see your lack of interest. You have to show that you're interested, so you find something that you're genuinely curious about that relates to them, and you ask questions about it. For example, with this marine biologist, let's say you really like sharks. Sharks are pretty cool. So what you do is you talk to them, and then you say, marine biologist, have you dealt with any sharks lately? And let's say they say yes. Bingo, you're on your first hot streak. What's going to happen is they're going to start talking about sharks. And instead of you trying to relate it about yourself, you will be so curious that you will ask, naturally, quite good questions. So you just keep going. And then you'll find after 25 minutes of talking about sharks, they can see your excitement inside. So they're more than happy to tell you. And they get very excited too. So be curious. Find something about that person that you are curious about. So you can start by asking questions. So I wouldn't say this is necessarily wrong, but if you do it too much without any direction, it can get kind of wrong. First 2, almost always wrong. Never make it about yourself, make it about them. When they ask questions about you and they're genuinely curious about you, then you've hit your sweet spot. You've made them like you. So be curious about them to the point where they start asking questions about you. And then, my friends, you have a real conversation on your hands and a potential long life friend.